These are turbulent times we live in. Nats has been cancelled. Eldritch is good, apparently. And what's worse, they're importing Dragoon. But there's one constant I can always count on to get me through rough times. Bullying Alpha Cretin over unreleased cards on YGO Pro. I just hope nothing's happened during the 10 minutes that I've been breaking quarantine.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. There is much to mourn today. The cancellation of Nationals, the dropout of Bernie Sanders, the fact that shortly I'll have to make Sampai's 10-Minute Testing, which is not good, but there's also much to celebrate. Edo Pro has finally released, and with it a card that enables one of the most interesting, and least playable, archetypes of all time. Presenting, finally, Valkyrie. So here's the list, and wow, I can't believe we had to wait 2 years just to play a one of. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is a one-stop shop for deck building, deck uploading, card searching, and strategy articles, some of which are written by yours truly. I'm proud to represent them, and I encourage any player interested in deck building to check out their website at www.ygoprodeck.com. Now let's feast our eyes on these fairies. For those unfamiliar, Valkyrie is the deck played by Siegfried von Schroeder in the KC Grand Prix arc, which I definitely watched and appreciated. Who can forget when Yugi fired his hairstylist? Okay, I didn't watch any of this garbage season, but I did watch a compilation on YouTube of Siegfried beating every relevant character in under a turn, so the deck must be capable, right? Ideally, you'll draw a whole hand of unsummonably big chunguses, activate their pendulum summon on a stick Ride of the Valkyries, and chew through your opponent's life points over the course of a bonus battle phase with Mischief of the Time Goddess. Unfortunately, a couple of things prevent us from teching in, well, basically anything interesting at all. We've got to be playing a critical mass of Valkyries in order to make the most of our rides, and a significant amount of their support requires Valkyrie-only monsters. It turns out you can't just give anything a second battle phase. Finally, since we're a blind second deck, we're playing the majority of the spells that make blind seconding a justifiable choice, with the exception of Mystic Mine, which doesn't really work for us. Ideally, we'll be able to neutralize our opponent's back row with Lightning Storm, walk over their monsters, and get 3 or 4 big enough attacks in with Time Goddess to walk with the set. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First, our Valkyries. We're on 3 Singirsu, and to any Americans in the audience, I am deeply sorry, but you have to play this card. 3 Erda, an incredibly powerful option in an otherwise miserable archetype. She's kind of Dark Law. 3 Brunhilde, who gets big. 3 Zvaita, which pops monsters. 3 Dritta, which searches and can actually be normal summoned. And 3 Shesta, which extends. After that, we're on 3 Hecatrice for 3 Valhalla. The deck desperately needs it. After that are our great equalizers. Dark Ruler No More, whose stipulation doesn't matter if you get a second battle phase. Lightning Storm. Super Poly, the most suspect of our spells. And 3 Extravagance. Finally, we're on 3 Ride and 1 Searchable and playable Mischief. Brings a tear to my eye. In the extra, we're on a Super Poly Extravagance board. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Zombie and Super Polymerization main board, Rivalry of Warlords. What do you think this is, 2019? Don't you know that Eldritch exists? This is how most of your games against control decks are going to go. Our opponent's going to activate Zombie World in set 3 before passing it back to us, and yeah, we've drawn Lightning Storm. We'll fire that off, then activate Dritta's effect in order to get ourselves a Shesta. We'll activate Ride of the Valkyrie, summoning a Brunhilde, a Zvaita, and a Shesta, whose effect we will activate to get a copy of Erda from deck. We'll banish Ride of the Valkyries for a Mischief of the Time Goddess and proceed to battle phase. We'll get in for 16, 18, 2000, and 1000, just slightly under lethal, so at the end of the battle phase, we'll go ahead and take a second one. It'll skip back to our battle phase, and we'll get in for big damage.
Bye-bye, Baylor Drac. You just can't cut it in 2020.
Our second round opponent is playing Inferno Tempest, answering the age-old question, what happens when your OTK deck runs into life gain? They're going first. They're going to lead with a copy of One Day of Peace, finding off the top, whoa, a copy of Pot of Desires, which they will activate with the Soul Absorption face up. They're going to gain 5,000 life points, making our job a lot harder. For turn, we draw a copy of Pot of Extravagance, and what? Are we not supposed to draw cards? We're going to get a couple off the top of our deck, giving our opponent 3,500 life points in the process. Afterwards, we'll activate this Lightning Storm, getting the Soul Absorption off their side of the field, and Valhalla to special this copy of Dritta. We'll activate Dritta's effect, then activate Sigrun's effect to... Wait, what? Oh my god, it sends it as the first part of the effect and then can't resolve because it didn't go to the graveyard! Reading, my old nemesis. Okay, well, this turn we won't screw it up. We're going to normal summon a copy of Dritta, then we're going to activate Dark Ruler no more before activating the effect of Sigrun, and then Sigrun's effect of Specialist Vita from our hand. We'll destroy our opponent's Banisher and get attacking. We get in for 0 because of Dark Ruler no more, but because Vita attacked, we can put the Valhalla back in our hand. We'll pass it back to our opponent, who draws a Twin Twister. We're just hoping they don't find Gren Maju here. Dark Hole is bad, but not the end of the world. We draw a copy of Sigrun off the top. Whew! We'll go ahead and special this copy of Brunhilde from hand before activating Sigrun's effect, and then trying to bring back this Dritta, who will add a copy of Erda to our hand. We'll go to battle phase, doing 18, 22, and 1,000. Still not anywhere close to lethal. We'll pass it back to our opponent, who for turn draws... a Pot of Desires. Okay, they'll fire that off. Very few cards remaining in deck. They'll defissure and set a reactive trap. Well, as long as we take no further action, we should be fine. We'll do 18, 22, and 1,000 again. One more of these, and I can activate the Mischief of the Time Goddess that's lurking in our hand. For turn, our opponent draws a... Whoa. Well, that's kind of a Gren Maju. It's going to go way up to, I believe, 4,100. Sheesh. They'll go to battle phase, but I can protect my monsters. I'll still take the damage, 3,100 life points, but I should be able to kill it on the crackback. For turn, we draw a Pot of Extravagance. I'll fire that off. What do we find off the top? Ooh, a Zvita will be perfect. We'll go ahead and destroy our opponent's monster, eating a bottomless in the process, but this should be good enough. We'll go to battle phase, do 18 and 22, and what do you know, all of a sudden we're in lethal range, so we'll fire off the Mischief and proceed to our second battle phase, at which point we'll attack once more. Finally, we've wrapped this one up. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's on... Oh god. They're here to avenge the death of their brother Baylordrock. They heard we were talking crap on Zombie and came as fast as they could. It's Eldritch! Well, we drew a copy of Lightning Storm. Maybe that'll be enough to win a game against this control archetype? They're going to lead with a copy of Pot of Extravagance, fighting off the top. An Eldland, of course. They're going to use its effect to get a Conquistador, followed by the effect of Eldritch in hand, and the effect of Eldritch in graveyard to put it back on the field, activating the effect of Eldland in order to send this copy of Forever, and then at end step the effects of Conquistador and Hakero to set both a white and a red. Okay, for turn we draw a copy of Ride, Moment of Truth, let's activate Lightning Storm, and it's met with an Imperial Order and a copy of White Eldlixir. That'll get the Eldritch out of their hand, and this is effectively the end of the game. We're going to activate Dritta. Okay, well that's just bullying at this point. We'll pass it back to our opponent, and... it's looking pretty grim. They draw a copy of Summon Limit. Not particularly good on your second turn, but at this point it doesn't really matter. They'll switch their monsters to attack position and deal 15 and 25 direct. It's got to be something absolutely fantastic off the top for us, and it's another unactivatable spell. Well, let's activate Dark Ruler no more. Okay, we're out of the Valkyries. We'll activate the Grave Effect and concede. Okay. Well, it's time for game 2, and... Wait, this hand has the potential to be a huge brick for our opponent. Moreover, our grip is insane. We could easily OTK provided our opponent ends on minimal interaction. It could work! Our opponent's going first. They're going to lead with a copy of Pot of Extravagance. They're going to find off the top a couple of hand traps that do nothing to us. This could be it! We're going to lead with a copy of Pot of Extravagance of our own. It's going to eat an Ash. That's absolutely fine. We're going to activate the effect of Valhalla afterwards. Our opponent is going to respond with a red. They'll get a copy of Eldritch from deck, but that should be fine with us. We're going to activate the effect of Valhalla for Shesta. We'll use Shesta to get a Dritta, and Dritta to get a copy of Erda. We'll activate Ride of the Valkyries. We'll activate the effect of Zvita to destroy the Eldritch, and... Conquistador? Well, we should easily be able to... Wait. Are you kidding me? We can't out a monster with 1,800 defense points? Oh my god, we're going to have to activate Mischief of the Time Goddess so our monsters don't get shuffled back into our deck, and because it's the new end phase, they're able to activate the Grave Effect of the red they just activated! Are you kidding me? They're going to overlay Conquistadors for Zen Mayo. Okay, fine. Before setting 3 cards and walking over our Zvita, I can't believe this is how we've lost the game. We draw a Lightning Storm, but we have too many cards on our side of the field. We're going to go for an Extravagance, and... Okay, well, Sigrun is quite strong. Our opponent's going to Infinite and Permanence it, but at the very least Valhalla is off our side of the field. We will Tribute Summon a Brunhilde to get over our opponent's monsters, but it eats a Dynamicius, and then at end step they'll activate both the effect of Dynamicius in Graveyard and the Eldritch from Graveyard via red. Yeah, this is likely the end of the game. They're going to set it forever, they're going to activate black to get a copy of Conquistador, and they're going to move to battle phase. We'll take 400, 25, 25, and 12, and to any of you thinking we're still alive, let me introduce you to Gustav Max. So we're back with the deck, and yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I expected. Easy wins against decks with incoherent game plans, and immediate losses to anything that can manage a negate. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. It's great to blind second right now. Sometimes we'd straight up win off of a Dritta summon post-poly just because so many resources went into our opponent's opening board. 2. Hecatrice and Valhalla, in combination with Sigrun, is a fantastic engine both for non-ride openers, further extension, or a rebuild if your OTK doesn't... I can't imagine playing the deck without it, which is terrible news for any American. And 3, Mischief of the Time Goddess was well worth the wait. And the cons. 1, It can't do anything going first. You can't activate Ride because you'll lose your monsters, so the best you can manage is Seagrin openings that end on Erda, and Darklaw's not nearly as powerful when it's conditional and has 2000 attack. 2. It can't chew through negates. If they've got Spell and Trap negation, you've really only got one target worth worrying about, and anyone who has added Alpha Cretin in the last 2 years knows what it is. And 3, this is the saddest one, it can't beat over monsters with 2300 attack. Brunhilde could get large, but competent opponents can stonewall you with Diamond Crab King. That's a terrible position for any OTK strategy. All in all, it's fun, it's cute, it's about as good as anything else in the KC Grand Prix arc, but it's nowhere near powerful enough to make a splash, even on Edo Pro's NA server. So that's that. Thanks to my patrons, MeatMoto27, Tyler Slacks, Mika Reichman, Crispy, Sir Tachyon, Lucas Hansen, Schnappy, Lavender Lemonade, Gusto Secon, Siberian Rabbit, Michael Oskavarik, Dan the Man Hoban, Bleb, Blake Root, Standards Objective, Jeff Leonard, Emperor Stove, TJ Steakhouse, Pro Yuki Dad, Picnic Blasted, Burrito Man 93, Fighting Fang Wong, Donnie Fillerup, Adam Sundquist, Isaac Jackson, Second, Lucas Geardis, Adam Trevino, Adrian Bra, Distrin, and others. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing, and if you want to be part of the process, consider following me on Twitch as well. See you next time.